Well, the Aromatic Fougere binge continues, and what Aromatic Fougere binge would be complete without a dose of Platinum Egoïste by Chanel? While this is quite a recent addition to the perfume world, only having been released in 1993, this very much encapsulates everything we know and love about Aromatic Fougere fragrances. So although this is a relatively modern release, it absolutely takes the classic genre of Aromatic Fougere and perfects it. If this interests you, stick around, check out this video. Well, hey guys, welcome back to Real Scent Review. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Tonight, we're going over what I think is the very best example of an Aromatic Fougere barbershop fragrance. That's Platinum Egoïste by Chanel. Don't get this confused with Egoïste by Chanel. They are totally different scents. I much prefer this one, and let's get right into it, shall we? The box here, made of cardboard, and it has a metallic finish over it. We have all the information here on the bottom as usual. The bottle itself looks very classy here. Looks exactly like the Egoïste bottle from Chanel, only the cap here is metallic silver, whereas the cap for Egoïste is black or dark brown. Now, let's go ahead and get a spray out of the way, the best part. So this has a wicked atomizer, very long, very wide, strong distribution. Oh man, awesome fragrance. So what I actually detect is the following. In the top, I get some rosemary, neroli, and lavender. In the mid, I get some geranium, galbanum, and more rosemary. And this dries down to me with some oak moss and some cedar. So upon initial spray, I get a very spicy, herbal opening. The rosemary really stands out to me. And that's mixed with a very bitter, sharp neroli note. Gonna give it a very bitter orange quality. And there's also a little bit of floral, sweet lavender, but the lavender in this one is quite light compared to a lot of other Aromatic Fougere fragrances. And in the mid here, I still get that spicy, uplifting neroli, but the rosemary is starting to develop into a sort of camphoric feel. So that gives me the feeling of a little bit of an evergreen / eucalyptus accord going on here. And that's paired with some earthy, very bitter galbanum and also some geranium. The geranium is coming in quite heavy here. So that's a floral, kind of rosy, slightly minty, also herbal accord. So in the opening and the dry down here, we get a very distinct metallic kind of feeling. And I think the metallic accord is coming from the mix of the geranium and the rosemary. The geranium gives off, like I said, a floral, minty type of feeling. And the rosemary has a camphoric kind of cooling sensation as well. So I think both of those notes paired, and with the little bit of galbanum, very bitter in the middle here, gives it a very metallic, sharp accord, as well as herbaceous and slightly floral, aromatic as well. And then after a while, this dries down with heavy oak moss and some cedar. So it's your standard oak moss, a little bit damp, a little bit woody, very fresh, kind of moist, mixed with some cedar, some fresh, woody, uplifting cedar. This is just an incredible Aromatic Fougere fragrance here with a nice woody dry down. I absolutely am in love with this one. Whenever the topic of Aromatic Fougere comes up, Platinum Egoïste is the first fragrance that pops into my head. This is relatively new, in the grand scheme of things, only having come out in 1993. But honestly, it smells like it was released in the 1960s, and that's kind of the vibe that it's going for. It's meant to smell very old school, and it does, but at the same time, it's just so timeless. It's a classic smell, even though it might not be a truly classic fragrance at this point. It absolutely will become a classic in the next few decades. People are going to be talking about this as if it's legendary, and hey, in my opinion, it already is legendary. So I just want to go over the name Platinum Egoïste for a second. In French, Egoïste means selfish person or a self-centered person. And platinum, of course, means platinum, the rare metal. Now, Platinum Egoïste, is the name trying to describe a selfish person who is very rare, like platinum is? Or is platinum kind of alluding to the metallic accords found in this? I like the ambiguous name that Chanel gave this fragrance. It kind of makes me think a little bit. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that tidbit out there just for some food for thought for you guys. Anyway, going back to the actual scent now, I'm gonna give this another spray because I just love it that much. You get in with that spicy, herbaceous, kind of metallic opening. You know, honestly, it is not the most unique fragrance out there. It's an Aromatic Fougere at the end of the day. However, This does have that metallic sensation that I get. It also smells very herbal, a lot more herbal than most aromatic fougere fragrances. The mix of the geranium and the lavender and the oak moss definitely do give this a slight shave creamy feel, but whereas with a lot of other aromatic fougere fragrances, that shave creamy barbershop smell is really what the whole fragrance is based around, and I definitely don't get that in this. The barbershop shave creamy chord definitely exists, but I think this is more focused on the uplifting, herbaceous notes that we get, especially in the opening here. It's got a slightly unique twist for a genre that has released literally hundreds of fragrances. Everybody and their grandfather out there has smelled an aromatic fougere. We all know what they smell like, but this one here, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me, is absolutely the benchmark for aromatic fougeres. At least it is to me, and part of that is the fact that it's a Chanel. The ingredients are very high quality. This is a super ballin' fragrance here. Like I said, it might not be the most unique, but the quality is up there with the very best of them. And this is absolutely just one of my favorite fragrances ever. I think this is the definition of a clean, classy, safe fragrance. It's very safe. It's very mature at the same time, but it's safe. You're not gonna ever offend anybody wearing this. You know, Dior Sauvage, Versace Dylan Blue, for example, the popular blue freshies. That's what a guy smells like coming out of the shower. Fresh, clean after a shower. This is what a man smells like when he gets out of the shower. This is a man who has everything put together. A successful man gets out of the shower, shaves, sprays this on. That's what this smells like. If you want to be that, get this fragrance. Anyway, in all seriousness, this is a fantastic fragrance. Like I said, being a Chanel, it's of the utmost quality. As far as designers go, this is probably the best aromatic fougere I've smelled. I've smelled a lot of them, and there are other very good ones, but this one just is the best for me. As far as versatility goes, like I was saying, wear this anytime, anywhere, any season. You're never gonna offend anybody. I think you can wear this casually. I think you can definitely wear this in a formal situation as well. But like I was saying in my previous video, when I reviewed Beau de Jour by Tom Ford, these are both aromatic fougeres technically, but this one definitely leans far more old school to my nose. And the Beau de Jour is a lot heavier on the lavender. It's a very heavy fragrance. I said that the Beau de Jour struck me more as a special occasion fragrance. This one here is more of a daily driver for me. I would wear this anytime, anywhere, and it's just gonna get the job done for you. You could call it a dumb reach fragrance. It's my dumb reach, mature, expensive fragrance. I love it. It's always gonna have a place in my collection. Now, regarding the performance, it's not the strongest performer out there, but I think part of the classiness of this fragrance is the restrained projection. So as far as projection, I get maybe an elbow's length for an hour and a half, after which it definitely becomes a skin scent, and the total longevity is only about 6 hours on my skin. But hey, it is what it is. The smell itself is fantastic, and the quality is of the very best as far as designer fragrances go. Sometimes you want to be noticed because of the classiness and amazing quality of your cologne, as opposed to the sheer performance of it. You know what I mean? This is a cologne I wear when I'm in that type of mood. You know, this isn't a cheapie. It's definitely on the more expensive side. For a 100 milliliter bottle, you can have this on the Macy's website for $125 US. They do delivery all over the United States, and as far as I know, Canada as well. Now, the thing about this and a lot of Chanel products is they are sticklers when it comes to monitoring the sales, which means you're very rarely going to find Chanel products on discounters. So unfortunately, unless you look really, really, really hard, you're probably gonna end up having to pay retail for this. Unless you check something like Craigslist or eBay, then maybe you could get a decent price on this. But other than that, you're likely gonna be paying full retail. Like I said, on Macy's, $125 US for a 100 milliliter bottle. Now, I think that's totally worth it. I think the quality of this is sky high. I think the actual smell is just fantastic, even though the performance is not the heaviest. But hey, you don't need it to be for a scent like this. It's all about that classiness that this exudes. It's formal, but there's also a casualness to this as well. You know, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Although it is a very mature fragrance and very classy, you could still wear this as a daily driver if you really wanted to. This is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's definitely my favorite aromatic fougere. It does everything you want an aromatic fougere to do, but it has an energy to it. It has a lightness to it that gives a lot of energy. Hey, it was released in 1993. Maybe it could be considered one of the babies of the aromatic fougere genre. And in that case, it's still young, it's still got a ton of energy. Anyway, I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about this. That's been my review of Platinum Egoïste by Chanel. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Until the next time, keep it real.